Oh Lord, I have so much on this table today. Hello, welcome once again to Stuff and Things, where I like to talk about stuff and occasionally even things. I'm your good friend Bradley, and today is a Sunday Stuff and Thing. It is a Sunday Stuff and Thing? Is that what I say? I think I forgot what I say. Hello, welcome once again to Stuff and Things, where I like to talk about stuff and occasionally even things. I'm your good friend Bradley, and today is a Sunday Stuff and Things. I think that's what I say. I can't believe I forgot how to open the show. And today we have many things and stuff to talk about. I don't know what's going on. I think I need some coffee. And we'll talk about those things coming up on Stuff and Things, the show. Oh Lord. Including upcoming videos, things that you can look forward to on Stuff and Things and working. I'm going to talk about, or I'm going to show you yet another box from Sutliff. They keep sending me things, gang, and I keep reviewing them, so I guess it's working, but I'm feeling slightly guilty that I'm ignoring some other manufacturers or some other blenders out there. So I'm gonna have to get off the Sutliff kick here pretty soon. But another Sutliff blend, I'm assuming, has come for me. I'm gonna show you that in a box opening. And then we're gonna talk about, now I hate this term, spooky season, scary movies, things like that. I have a little mini rant to go on about that. And then of course we'll have your questions, comments, and feedback in hashtag askstuffandthings. So if my brain works, we will get into it. Okay, we have so much coming up on Stuff and Things and working. So let's see if I can get through all this. First of all, this coming week, we have a nice Midori/Traveler's Company notebook alternative. This is the Woodsy Balms leather mini composition journal notebook cover. We're going to be talking about that this Wednesday. So very cool. We are next, after that, the following week, we will be talking about Maple Shadows 2. This is part of the I'm not going to like this series, but you may be shocked, appalled, surprised by my feelings for this blend. So be sure to check that out as well. Very nice for this time of year. And then I recorded a video today about my Pilot Custom 823, this beautiful pen that I first reviewed over 9 years ago. And it's a pen that I've always really loved, but I hadn't used a ton just because it seemed too nice. But I've been using this pretty much as my main fountain pen for the last several months. And I have some updated thoughts on this pen. This thing is a thing of beauty. It's amazing. I love it. It's just absolutely fantastic. It is competing with my Lamy 2000 as my favorite fountain pen right now. So we're going to be talking about that. More blends to discuss. Obviously, we'll be opening this box, so that might be one of them. But we're also going to do a video soon about the Good Made Better brand of stuff. This one is the very cool Penwell Classic. This beautiful piece of copper. You could really brain somebody with this thing. And then we also have something that intrigued me a lot, the Book Warden by Good Made Better. So we'll be talking about those soon too. I've got some boots on the way that I'm going to be reviewing. Just so much stuff to look forward to on the channel. I can't keep up with it all. And then we have, I didn't write it down, but it's working episode 38 or 39. I can't remember the number, but it's a video that posted this Friday where it was supposed to be a short, easy day as opposed to a long, hard day of work, and it didn't quite work out that way. So please check out the working channel. There is always a link in the description box below, and I would greatly appreciate it if you would check out working, subscribe to working, like the videos, all that good stuff. Let's get those videos and that channel in the YouTube algorithm, please. Thank you. All right, gang. I don't know what this is. Sutliff likes to send me things. Sometimes I like the things they send me. So let's see what we have in this box. We open it from here. Maybe. I cut the tape. Son of a... Okay. Box has been opened. And inside we have some packing materials and we have a tin. And the tin is, aha, some slightly controversial tin art. Some people don't like the tin art from this series. I'm just trying to see if there's... Yes, there is. Okay. Usually they include a little information about the blend, so I just wanted to make sure I didn't trash that. We have here... And there's a lot of information. Why are there two of these? I guess that's a packing slip. Okay. We have Sutliff Signature Series Episode 3, Pipe Force Episode 3, Crumble Cake. So it doesn't have a hilarious name. We have like an octopus face general man this time. But it doesn't have like a funny name. It's just called, I mean, this just says Episode 3 on it. This does say Marshall. He's got a little name tag that says Marshall. So that's Mr. Marshall, perhaps. Pipe Force Episode 3, Signature Series by Per George Jensen. Stoved and red Virginia give a naturally sweet, tangy, woody foundation. The hearty rustica, so they're using that rustica again, leaf has been hot pressed and stoved for the first time. The process slightly tempers the bold teas and imparts a floral note, but still, the robust character is not lost, bringing body to the S. A portion of dark-fired Kentucky then offers a mesquite spice to the mixture. Sounds interesting. Stoved or Cavendish teas are often thought of as the vehicle for top flavoring. Though this is certainly a fine attribute, the wonderful characteristics imparted from the stoving process can easily be overlooked. Pipe Force illustrates just that, with the stoving of two varietals for the first time, Rustica and Caterini. Launch date, October 22nd, 2024. MSRP of $18.78. So Pipe Force Episode 3 sounds interesting for sure. I'm not going to be able to do a video in time for the release, but obviously I'm showing it to you now before the release. It comes out on October 22nd. And so Rustica, Stoved and Red Virginias, and Dark Fire Kentucky. And then they say Caterini at the end here, but I'm not sure if this actually has Caterini in this. Dabadoo, Dark Fire Kentucky, blah, blah, blah. So on the tin, it just says Stoved and Red Virginias, says Rustica, process boobadoo, character babadoo, bada-doodly-doo, portion of Dark Fire. Yeah, so it doesn't mention the Caterini here. I'll have to look into this a little more closely, but another interesting sounding blend from Pipe Force and our good friend, Per George Jensen. So look forward to seeing that on the channel soon. All right, let's get into the next topic after a quick break. Okay, I don't want to be a spoilsport and I don't want to be a jerk, but as our Maple Shadows 2 tin would indicate, we are in spooky season, as everyone likes to say. How do I do this without sounding like a creep? I am always mildly bemused, let's use the word bemused, by how so many adults seem so excited about Halloween. Now, obviously, this is mostly in the US. I don't think really anyone celebrates it much anywhere else. Maybe they pay kind of lip service to it because of US cultural influence in places like Japan. I know in the UK it's gotten a little more popular, but it's still not the big deal that it is in the US. But it always kind of feels weird that there are so many adults I know who are like, ooh, Halloween, we get to dress up in costumes. And I think maybe part of it is because as a child, we grew up in a fairly strict Christian upbringing where we weren't allowed to trick or treat. We weren't allowed to dress as ghouls and ghosts and things like that. And so I never really got to experience the whole Halloween thing as a kid. But part of this whole thing is the fact that many people like to watch, quote, scary movies during the Halloween season. And I listen to a lot of podcasts on various subjects, but usually this time of year, people will start talking about the scary movies that they like to watch. And this is another thing that's going to make me sound like a jerk. I know I'm prefacing a lot of my conversations this way lately. Maybe I am just a jerk, I'm not sure. But I always find it very strange that I can hear grown men say, oh, I can't watch that movie, it's too scary. What? I don't understand that. Now, I'm not trying to say I am brave. I'm not trying to say I have nerves of steel. I just really don't understand what people say or what they mean when they say that they are afraid of a film or a film has frightened them. I don't get it. It's not real. If you see something in a film, it's not actually happening. Therefore, how can that be scary? I can understand children being frightened of things. When I was a little kid, my dad seemed to find it amusing to watch The Shining all the time when I was like 5 years old, 4 years old, and I can remember seeing the little girls, "Come play with us, Danny." And that freaked me out as a child because as a kid, I thought that demons existed. I thought that ghosts existed. I believed in these supernatural, spiritual things that could potentially harm me. Once I became an adult, I realized that there is no such thing as ghosts, and therefore supernatural things do not frighten me because they're not real. Even if they were real, if they were being presented in a film, I would know that they were not real in the film. Therefore, why would it frighten me? I honestly don't understand. It's kind of like the difference. I know people who are colorblind, and there have been situations where there's been like a bit of red writing on a brown background. And those people will look at that and they'll say, "I can't see it. I literally cannot see the writing that you can see." And I always find that fascinating because I'm looking at this thing and I can clearly see red writing on this brown board. And it's very difficult to put yourself in the mind of someone else and say, "Wow, what would it be like to literally not be able to see that thing?" And that's how I feel when I hear people talk about scary movies and being afraid of films. I honestly don't get it. So I'm not super excited about scary movies ever. I have tried to watch scary movies. The last, quote, scary movie I watched was, I think, Hereditary. I had heard good things about it and I finally watched it. I found it fun. Like, it was interesting. I liked the naked middle-aged people going, "Paimon," or whatever the weird demon's name was supposed to be. I found that amusing. It was affecting, but I didn't turn it off and then like shiver in my apartment because I was worried that a demon was going to try to attack me, because I don't believe that can happen. And I don't know, I don't understand an adult human, especially male, saying, "I can't consume this piece of media because it's scary. It will scare me." People talk about that with video games too, like, "I can't play spooky video games." I don't get it. I can understand getting startled by something if there's a jump scare, but that doesn't count as being afraid to me. That's just, you get startled because something goes, "Wah!" Like, I can understand that, but that's not scary. That's just like, "Oh, I was startled." I don't know. Let me know if I'm crazy. Tell me in the comments below if I'm a crazy person. But it's this huge aspect of American culture that I just don't feel like I get to take part in at all. Scary movies aren't scary. Like, I'll watch something like The Shining now as an adult, and I think it's a fantastic film. I think it's fantastic. I just said fantastic again. But I don't think it's scary. It's cool. It's a neat movie. It's interesting to kind of parse out like what's real, what's not, what's in the mind of the protagonist, what isn't. Is there anything, quote, supernatural actually going on? Great performances. It's a really cool movie, but I'm never afraid while watching it. I don't know. Let me know in the comments below if I'm crazy. And honestly, I'm not trying to sound like, "Ooh, I'm a big man. I don't get afraid of films." It's just, I don't get it. I have been afraid in my life before, but movies don't frighten me. Books don't frighten me. Media doesn't frighten me. Because it's not real. All right, gang, but now it is time for hashtag #AskStuffandThings. Remember, if you have a question for me and you would like it answered on the Sunday Stuff and Things, you can tweet at @SATBradley with the hashtag #AskStuffandThings. You can write to me via Patreon and go right to the front of the line. You can hit that super thanks button under this video and go right to the front of the line, or you can leave questions, comments, and feedback under my YouTube videos, and I will do my best to answer you on a subsequent Sunday Stuff and Things. I'm sure I'll get lots of comments about my ridiculous stance on scary films, but I stand by it. They're not scary because they're not real. First of all, we have some feedback from last week's Sunday Stuff and Things. This is from @RobertPresley6414. I have been watching you for years, Bradley. It sounds kind of ominous. And the only thing I'm interested in is the pipe-related content, for the most part. So I was talking about people trying to expand their mind, or encouraging people to expand their minds, and not be into only one thing on YouTube, because I had posted that video, listening party on Blondie, Parallel Lines, amazing album from 1978. Hardly got any views. Still have hardly gotten any views, and a lot of people have been asking, are you going to do more of those? I don't know, because nobody's watching it. So if you guys only want to watch pipe stuff, and I post something that isn't pipe related and none of you watch it, then it doesn't really encourage me to post things. Anyway, we'll see. We'll see. Next, we have @KingTrimmer. I'm fairly sure YouTube shows me all of your videos. I just don't watch the ones that do not interest me. I think that is likely the case for most people. Fair enough. @ChrisPortuslander 2458, the algorithm has indeed not shown that video to me. They should know me better by now. I am fond of that album. But then again, they also, for the past 5 years or so, think that I can be convinced to buy Grammarly and bombard me with ads. Yeah, the Grammarly ads are insane on YouTube. I wish they would stop. @JoshStivers 9042, love that vinyl has made a comeback nowadays. I opened that really cool album from our good friend Ryan McFadin, @Ryan O'Connelly on Twitter. I should remember that, or not on Twitter, on Instagram. Check his stuff out, awesome. It's an expensive hobby, but there really is something so satisfying about the way a record feels and even smells. Congrats to the artist. And here's our good friend @Ryan McFadin 09. Thanks, man, for the kind words. It means a lot. Also, great advice. I'll give Dragon Ball a shot. Yeah, check it out. It's fun. If you, well, we won't get into it now, but if you don't have nostalgia for like the whole Dragon Ball Z thing now as an adult, if just jumping in as an adult now, I think you'd just be like, what the hell's going on? But if you start with Dragon Ball, maybe not. Next, we have some feedback from the review of Sutliff Silver Quarter that I did last week. This is from Luigi Verona. I don't even smoke, but I love watching these reviews. That's cool. See? He has expanded his mind. @Helldivers, or Diver 58. This looks pretty well as Peter Stokkebye Luxury Bullseye Flake or Davidoff's Flake Medallions here in Germany, and which I like very much. Okay, yeah. Yes, it is very reminiscent of Luxury Bullseye Flake. Slightly different character, but very similar in components, and I think if you like Luxury Bullseye Flake, you will like Silver Quarter. @Roect, I see it is currently out of stock, so I may never get to try it if limited, but I will try to get me some. I did just order 2 pounds of Peter Stokkebye's Luxury Bullseye Flake for about 80 bucks elsewhere. So not too disappointed here. And yeah, I think somebody answered that comment and told them a couple places where it was still in stock. And then we have @Paisano Piper, nice all-around vapor. I enjoyed it as well. I'm glad I bought a few extra tins to cellar. It should be really good with a few years of age on it. I think I said years instead of years. Not years, years. Okay, gang, thanks for all that feedback. Please keep it coming in. It really helps make the show go. I love interacting with you. I love hearing what you think, and I love getting your questions and comments. But now, it's time for the very best part of the show, and that is where we thank our Patreon supporters. Remember, if you would like to support the channels on Patreon, there is a link in the description box below, and it is much appreciated. It is basically the only way that I can keep doing this, or justify to myself that I can keep doing this with the amount of effort I put into it, and not really making any sort of income on YouTube. The Patreon supporters are basically bankrolling these channels. So thank you so much. There is a link in the description box below, as I mentioned, and just $5 a month, man. That would help a lot. We're on a drive to get 100 $5 supporters. That would be fantastic. But we like to shout out those who are more like producers of the content here, the people who support the channels at $100, the people who support the channels at $25 or more a month. People like Glenn Dunnington, Jason Buckner, Arcturus, Ashes of the Phoenix, Jonathon Proctor, Charles Mowers, and and the Friendly Piper. And of course, the Maniacs, the crazy people who support the channels at $100 a month, people like Stolid Dependable Bob Magee, and our good friend, and maybe your good friend, oh I said ours, my good friend, maybe your good friend as well, the talented Ryan McFadin. And of course, we'll never forget our dearly departed friend and Hall of Fame member, award-winning author, Peter Straub. Luckily, the camera is still recording. That is good. We have so many things, as I mentioned, to look forward to on Stuff and Things and working. Coming up this week, the Woodsy Balms leather mini composition journal notebook cover. Next week, I'm not gonna like Sutliff Maple Shadows 2, but maybe I will. Pilot Custom 823 9-year review update. More blends. Where did I open the, Pipe Force episode 3. Good Made Better, Classic Penwell, Book Warden, some really cool boots coming from Mexico. Just lots of amazing stuff coming up on all the channels, the 2 channels. So stay tuned, but until next time, tell me it again. I've been your good friend Bradley. You've been the audience. This has been Stuff and Things on a Sunday. Stuff and Things. I'll see you later.